Hey friends! So today's video is one that I've been very excited to make, even if nobody watches it, because I make these videos every single year, and I'm not about to stop now. And truth be told, I haven't talked about music enough this year on this channel, and I feel bad about it because I used to talk about music like all the time. And while I will give everybody a song of the day at the end of every video, I just haven't waxed poetic about music enough. So if you don't like me like just reminiscing about music, I have plenty of other videos that you can watch on my channel, not about music. So let's go. So the official theme, I guess, of today's video is my favorite albums of 2018. There's been some music I've been feeling a lot this year. And while I listen to a lot of local music and I go see a lot of local music, I will be talking about a lot of local music in this video, but not all of these are local people. Let's get started, shall we? So I do also have a Spotify playlist that goes along with this video, which will be a link in the description as well. So let's just talk about some records and some stuff that I liked this year. Okay, cool. First being Editor's new record, Violence. And this was an album I actually didn't even know was out before I went and saw them play. And I saw them play in like May, I think. They played at Numos, and I hadn't seen Editors play in 8 years since they were here last in like 2010. So, yeah, Editor's new record, Violence, is so good. I love Magazine, I love Violence, I love No Sound But the Wind. It's just a great record, and it just reminded me how much I loved that type of music and that like time in my life where most of the stuff I was listening to was like Brit rock and like Interpol and Editors and Block Party and like all of this other music that I found out because of my friends that I made because of a different band, which I'll get to in a little bit. It was just nostalgic. And then I just went down like a rabbit hole of like watching a bunch of other Editors music videos, and I was just like, damn, I forgot how fucking good they were. Yes, Editors, Violence. Mwah, so good. Ugh, I loved it so much. Next was the Black Panther film soundtrack. Oh my God. This album was so fucking good. The movie was amazing. It got nominated for Best Drama at the Golden Globes. I'm so excited. But this was like the best like superhero movie soundtrack I may have ever heard. I don't know. All the songs just like they're bangers. They like get you pumped up. I could listen to the entire record while I'm like going on a jog, and it's just this album like kind of opened my eyes to a bunch of other people, and I got really into Vince Staples this year. Just like the Black Panther soundtrack is fire. You want to feel old? Black Panther came out in 2018. It's been a really long year, guys. It's been a really long year. Yeah, the Black Panther soundtrack slaps. Next, Death Cab for Cuties, Thank You for Today. Death Cab for Cutie is one of those bands that I will always love. Like, I've liked pretty much all their albums. There's been some that I haven't really gotten as into as other ones, but like this one really struck a chord with me because I feel like Ben Gibbard, while Death Cab is like huge, I wouldn't necessarily consider them like a Seattle band because they're huge, but like Ben is still very ingrained in the Seattle scene, and like he was one of the people that was giving such a huge voice to the Save the Showbox movement, and he's generally involved, and I love that, and it makes me proud to call myself a Death Cab fan. And I got to see them play at the Paramount's 90th anniversary show, and my friend's band the Blacktones opened for them, and it was fucking awesome. I liked the album that came out this year. A lot of people didn't. I liked Gold Rush. It was very relevant and very timely. So many of you guys are probably too young to remember the OC, but that is where they got their like, where they exploded, you know? Adam Brody's character loved Death Cab for Cutie, and I related to Adam Brody's character in that show. What was his name? Seth? I don't remember. On this side. Sticking with local artists, I will get to the first record I want to present to you. This is Comfort World by Cumulus. The actual record is in my record player. That is how much you know that I love this album. This was a long time coming for Alex, and I've talked about it in videos before. The music has is so good. Like, the songwriting has blossomed. Like, I'm so proud of Alex, like, being able to finish this and put out something beautiful. And there's so many great songs on here, and I was really, really proud to be able to do their episode of Band in Seattle this year. It was just an all-around good year for me and Cumulus. Love you, Abby. Love you, Alex. Love you. Sing to Me is awesome. There's a new music video for it. You should watch it. I'll put a link to it in a card. Tough Crowd is good. It's just a good album, guys. It's a good album. Like, really earnest, just like emotional songwriting and like pop songs. It's like indie pop, dreamy, lovely voices, and just generally like super catchy hooks. Most of this year I was listening to like really angry fucking music. This was not one of those times. Another local album that I bought and I loved so much, Naked Giants. Naked Giants. This record has been a long time coming for these three as well, because a lot of the songs on this, they performed on Band in Seattle 2 years ago. So I'm really, really happy for them. I'm really happy for all of the success they've had this year. They basically got to go on tour and be in Car Seat Headrest, and then on top of it, put out a really awesome album themselves. And like, I don't know, I love Naked Giants. They're the nicest boys you could ever meet. They worked, Steve Fisk is just produced so well. What are some of my favorite songs? Dead Alien is amazing. We're Alone. Everybody Thinks They Know But Nobody Really Knows. TV, Slow Dance 2. Like, Slow Dance 2, I was waiting for a long time. Like, it's just an all-around perfect record. And they got picked as the Seattle Times one of the best live bands of the year. Duh. Duh. And it's pink. And it's a pink vinyl. Ugh. Next, speaking of Naked Giants, Car Seat Headrest Twin Fantasy. I feel like such an idiot, like, not listening to Car Seat Headrest really before this year.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
I did not get to see them last year at Sasquatch because it was 100 degrees outside and I didn't want to go outside. So this year I finally got to see Car Seat Headrest at Timberfest and they were so good. And this album is so fun. This is another instance where I was listening to music that was just like genuinely like upbeat and fun. So good. Granted, it's like a reissue and like a remastering of an album that came out years and years and years ago. So like, I'm a little bit late to the game, but I'm glad I even arrived at all because it's a great record and I love Car Seat Headrest. And basically Naked Giants got to be in that band. So they opened for Car Seat Headrest and then they played with them. They went on tour and basically played 2 full sets. So Twin Fantasy, Bodies is so damn fun. Nervous Young and Humans, I made it my song of the day at least twice this year. And it was just a good time. So before I get into the last 3 albums I want to talk to, I want to talk briefly about some EPs that were like on constant spin on my Spotify all year. These were all local folks. Smoky Brights, Come to Terms. Smoky Brights put out 2 different EPs this year and both of them were fire. I love Smokies. I love the direction they're going. I love the like harmonies they've kind of mixed into their music a lot more now, and it's just really good pop songs. But Smoky Brights Come to Terms is one of my favorite EPs of the year. It's been very fun to listen to. Next being Deep by Action S, my buddies Action S. I hadn't really listened to Action S before they played Band in Seattle, and I feel like an idiot for not doing that because they're so good and fun and just like genuinely lovely dudes, and they make loud post-horncore is what they call it. It's loud, it's angry, it's fast, it's just aggressive, but without being like scary. Does that make sense? Music's been a lot louder and madder, and I'm not mad at it because that's kind of what I've needed the last couple of years. I mean, I mentioned it last year when Run the Jewels put out their record. That was last year, right? Or was it? No, it was like the end of 2016.
Fuck!
But like, since Trump has become president, I've liked angrier music, okay? Like, I've been in more mosh pits this year than I probably have in my whole life. You know, that's life. But yeah, Action S is one of those bands that I have loved this year. Next is Zot by Monster Watch. Monster Watch has definitely been the subject of most of those mosh pits because mosh pits. All the songs on this EP are great. Brain Twist, Lost My Car, Zot by Monster Watch is loud and angry and thrashy, and if you like that shit, listen to it. So, oh, don't hit that. And last but not least of the loud, angry EPs that I have been spinning consistently is Warm Strokes of Pragmatism by Bad Optics. so happy that they're a band. I'm so happy that they're a band, guys. Like, you're great. Like, I'm so happy that I've kind of started going to see shows in Everett now, and like just finding all these new people to listen to and to like go to shows with and be friends with, and it's just been a great year, like my local friendship circle. And Bad Optics has definitely been a highlight of that, because you guys have put out some really fucking good music this year, and don't you ever think otherwise. Like, Warm Strokes to Pragmatism is so good for a 3-song EP. They did release another song, Feng Shui for the Wolf Society, as a separate single, but they got some music coming out eventually. Who knows? I've heard all kinds of songs multiple times. But you guys should go check out their music on Spotify, because it's on Spotify, and maybe go like, I don't know, download it from Bandcamp and like put it on your phone. Support local artists, okay? I'm so proud that I get to call you guys my friends, okay? Friendship. Now, on to the last 3 albums that I wanted to talk about. And this is where I'm going to talk probably the most, even though I've only been talking for like 21 minutes. So that's not that bad. First, we have Megaplex by We Are Scientists. This is a great album. I love it. What color is it? I don't remember what color it is. Are you black or are you white? It's white and tie-dye. Oh. So I love this album. I mean, anytime We Are Scientists puts out new shit, I'm happy. Just in general. I like the artwork. I think it's cool. I don't love this as much as I liked Helter Seltzer, the last record they put out, but I still like it. I love No Wait at 5 Leaves. Beautiful song. You Failed. We finally get to see like Chris sing a song. Okay. Your Heart is a Weapon. Your Light is Change. Kit. I mean, Now or Never. It's a good album, guys. It's a good album. But one thing I noticed about this record and about We Are Scientists this year is that because most of the stuff I was listening to was louder and angrier, I wasn't as prone to play this over and over and over and over again as I used to be with We Are Scientists records. Like Helter Seltzer, I like binged that shit. And TV en Francais, played the hell out of that thing. Barbara was like, I mean, my favorite We Are Scientists record is still and forever will be With Love and Squalor, but this was good. I liked it. I did. I didn't. You want to know how kind of distracted I was? I only saw them play once on this tour. Like, I didn't go to the Portland or the Vancouver shows. I only went to the Seattle show. That's how you know I wasn't like shitting my pants over this. And that's weird. Like, I was looking back at my list and be like, oh, favorite records of the year, and I almost forgot that this came out this year. And then I was like, I'm not outgrowing them, am I? I always said that I would never outgrow this band, and I'm not. I haven't, but I think I've just found myself in a different headspace this year where like this just didn't fit in as much, you know? Like, it didn't serve as much of a purpose as I wanted it to, because I wanted to listen to music that was just like angrier, more cathartic, just like not as much dance stuff. Like, dancing consisted of moshing this year for me. So, I don't know. I loved it, but not as much as I have in the past. I guess these last 2 are technically my favorite. First being this from Typhoon. Offerings is amazing. I actually got to hear this album for the first time at the end of last year when they were doing like a cool listening party tour thing. So we like got to listen to a Walkman out at like sunset, like on the waterfront. It was fucking gorgeous. But Typhoon's Offerings, it's such a good album. Like, it's two discs. It's really thick and heavy and hefty and just like super high quality. It didn't like shake me to my core as much as White Lighter did, but like White Lighter came at like a very, 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 very poignant time in my life. This is close. It's just not quite as like hit me in my chest. But when I got to see them play twice this year, I got to see them play at the Crocodile, and I finally got to meet Kyle and tell him how much his songs mean to me, and it was such a good time. This is heavier. It's not quite as like folkestral as previous releases, which I think is like a testament to how music is just generally going right now. Like, a folkestral like 11-piece band like downsized to like 7 or 8 people and just got louder. There are some like softer songs on this record, but Rorschach is great, Algernon is amazing, Ariadne is great, Bergeron, like, it's so good. Like, it's so good, and it further solidifies Typhoon as one of my favorite bands in the entire world because this album is so good. Offerings has been a great offering this year. Hey. And then another thing I noticed about Typhoon this year is that they were the last band to play on the Yeti stage at Sasquatch. So they were like the last band that I saw at Sasquatch at the last Sasquatch. That's fucking weird. That's just gonna like burn itself into my brain for the rest of my life. Yeah. It's a good album. I like it a lot. So the final record I want to talk about is not one that I own on vinyl because I haven't really been able to get it on vinyl because there weren't that many copies of it made. Master System's Dance Music was an album that I only found out about a couple of months ago, and it was because of a Facebook group that I joined that's just a bunch of Frightened Rabbit fans. And if you don't know, or if you aren't like a Frightened Rabbit fan or don't know who Frightened Rabbit is, the lead singer of Frightened Rabbit, Scott Hutchison, took his own life earlier this year. And there was a big old group of people on Facebook that has like just a message board type thing where people just kind of share things. Like when they're going through some shit, they'll be like, okay, this day was not so good for me. And then other people just like share really, really wonderful, encouraging things. Such a nice place on Facebook. Because there's so many bad places on Facebook, you know? Somebody shared a link to a music video from that album from Dance Music and the song Old Team. And the entire music video is basically just a bunch of footage from their one and only tour. So Master System is essentially a supergroup made up of members of Frightened Rabbit, editors, and Minor Victories, and they put out their one and only album back in April. The music video is just like a big old tour, like just a tour vlog, essentially, footage from their shows, from being on the road, from that tour. And when I saw it, I had to stop myself from sobbing when I went back and I listened to the whole album because I didn't even know it existed. Like, I didn't know. And so I went and listened to it, and it's so good. Like, it's such a good album. It's so beautiful. It's so painful. It has like a nostalgic feel to it. Like, it almost kind of reminds me a little bit of like early Jimmy Eat World stuff too, but like with Scott's voice. It really meant a lot listening to it because I didn't get to see Frightened Rabbit play back in 2016 when they were supposed to play at Sasquatch. And I thought that I had moved past like the grief of like losing Scott. But then when I went and I listened to that album, listen to Dance Music, it came rolling back. And there was a lot of shit going on when I finally heard that album for the first time. So it just like punched me in the gut. Old Team is a fucking great song. How many times has Abby sworn in this video? But Proper Home is good. Notes on a Life Not Quite Living. Oh, it is a painful song. Like, listening to the lyrics now, Jesus Christ. Teething is really good. Old Team, like I said, Must Try Harder. Peaks and Troughs and Graves, A Waste of Day. Like, it's all great. Like, there's only 9 songs, but they're all awesome. I don't know, it was different music coming from Scott, but it was still Scott. And this album really, really affected me more than I ever thought it would. So that is all I have for you today for my favorite albums of the year. Like I said in the description, I will have links to all kinds of Spotify playlists, to my year-end write-up for Seattle Music Insider, maybe some links to some Band in Seattle performances as well, because some of these bands have been on Band in Seattle. So there's all kinds of stuff for you to explore down in the description and in cards. But please listen to these. If you have ever wondered what kind of shit I listen to, it's this. This is a pretty good representation of like the music I listen to lately. We got some We Are Scientists, we got some Death Cab, we got some Editors, but then we got some really loud, thrashy local bands. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please give this video a like if you liked it. If you want me to talk about music more often, I'm trying to think of ways to kind of build music into this channel in a way that's not just like me rambling on about fucking songs all the time. So let me know if there are some things that other people have done about music on their own channels that you thought I might be interested in. And thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!